All right, you guys. So I actually kind of have a busy day today. And I know I was supposed to get two videos out yesterday, and I ended up being busy yesterday. So I wasn't able to do it. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do my form of batch content. And I'm just going to record this next video now because I really do want to make sure I have at least two videos up today. Um, as you can see in the title, I wanted to talk about, I know the other day I had talked about my addiction. And it's still like, it's so weird. Like knowing that when I release this video, it's going to be so many, people I don't know or, going to hear this. And it's like, wow, mm. Sometimes it just catches you. Um, but yeah, I wanted to talk today about living with mental health disorders. I figured that won't get me so caught up in my throat so much. Um, but I got diagnosed with bipolar disorder at 16 years old. And so I have lived 30 years of my life outside my body, and it is a hell of a ride. But before I get into the video, I want to send a special love from the bottom of my heart to all of my butterflies, all of my beautiful butterflies who decided to be a part of the butterfly squad. I appreciate you. I appreciate your comments. I try to respond to all the positive comments. I have decided to not even engage in the negative ones because y'all are trifling. Like, so I already have to deal with watching y'all videos. I refuse to interact with the nonsense that y'all decide to spill in the comment section. So I only respond to the beautiful, uplifting, positive, encouraging comments. And so hopefully this is another video that, can help you get to know me a little bit better. So after my father died, there wasn't really a place for me to process that. Um, a broken little girl is a dangerous thing. It's so dangerous. And I had a two-parent home and it still found me. Um, I talked about it in my video. I talked about it in the video talking about my addiction, of how I started, being abused at the age of 4. I have a cousin on my dad's side. I'm the second oldest girl, and it's like 40 plus of us first cousins. But on my mom's side, me and my sisters are the three youngest, and so I have a cousin on my mom's side who told me that everyone started seeing a change in me about 6 years old. And if I don't know, is that's when I started understanding that what was happening to me wasn't supposed to be happening. I don't know. I do know it had to have stopped sometime after 6 because come around 7 or 8 years old, I remember having dreams that I shouldn't have. I was very inappropriate. I was just doing things that a young girl my age shouldn't have been doing. I didn't understand why. Um, in fact, I didn't understand why until my uncle decided to call my mother and confess his sins to her. And believe it or not, later on in life, that gave me a place of true healing and forgiveness by him doing that. At the time, it wasn't like that though. um, but in some sense, I just felt I was just always told that I was bad. You know what I mean? No one really tried to figure out why, though, you know? And so, fast forward, I was started being really promiscuous at an early age. Parents was not happy. First time I got pregnant, I was 14 years old. And I had, my father was still alive. And I will never forget this, not only because it was very traumatic, but, you know, if y'all know anything about, you know, Pentecostal churches, you know, back in the day, and you know, so my mom hit me with that. I embarrassed her, I embarrassed the church. I have to apologize to the church for, you know, it was just like this whole thing. Um, it was so dramatic. My father, though, my father, on the other hand, I would never forget. Though my mom is angry, she's visibly angry, like she's just pissed. My father says to me, "It's gonna be okay. You know, your mom's just upset right now, but you know, a baby is a blessing." And he looked at me and said, "You better have a boy." Now, it wasn't until years later that when I talked to my favorite uncle, my Uncle Eric, um, and learned how disappointed my father really was about, you know, me being pregnant at 14. Actually, no. I heard my Uncle Ed, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. I heard another one of my uncles who, he never abused me physically, but after my dad died, he treated me different, you know, and he wasn't like my same uncle. For some reason, my pregnancies had him more disappointed and distraught than, I don't know, like, you know, but, you know, he's no longer here, so, you know, I'll leave that at. But anyway, yeah, so my father never let me know how disappointed he was, and that broke me. I remember just everything my mom was saying to me. I ain't cried once. I was like, whatever. And then my dad said, I just knew I broke his heart. And next thing I knew, I was in the hospital at a tubal pregnancy. I had to get a DNC. And to think about that, you know, happening in 93, no. Happened the same year my dad died, 94, because I turned 15 in 94. Um, so, after I had the, you know, the DNC, and then to think about how even where I live at now in Alabama, like that procedure is considered illegal, and that I would have to been almost close to death to even get any help, and how I immediately got help for that when that happened. So I guess that's one of the reasons why I'm so pissed about how everybody feel about DoorDash. It's because the times that we are living in, there are so other things that we need to be coming together and rallying up and coming after. And DoorDash ain't it. Like, she's the least of our problems of what we have going on in this world. But anyway, going through all that, and then my father dying. My daughter's father is, he was 18 at the time. He rescued me. He rescued me because the day my father died, my favorite uncle, the uncle who I spent the most time with, the uncle who I kind of grew up with, because my uncles is not that much older than me. It's older uncles. It's my dad. My dad was the oldest, and you know, it's like an older group. It's 9 of them, so it was the older 4, and then it was a long space, and then it was the younger 5. And so, like, my Uncle Eric's my favorite uncle. He's not that much older, but at the time, my Uncle Bobby was my he was my favorite uncle. And I grew up with him. Like his kids was like my siblings. Like we all grew up together, and it was heartbreaking. And I didn't understand it, and I had to really do a lot of therapy on trying to figure out why. Well, I understood later. He was the closest connection to my father, and so that lasted from the time I was 15 till I was 17, and I was very rebellious, just very, and my brain just broke. Like that's how I felt. Like it just felt like it just broke. And I remember waking up one day, and this is after the look at I'm moving too fast. So that happened with my uncle. Me being in the days of my father's being gone, I'm being touched. My mother is, I'm the oldest. I got two younger sisters. We are five. Me and my sister Stephanie is 5 years apart, and me and Jennifer is 11 years apart. And then here comes the twins' father, and he just seen me. He really did see me, and I felt like he was like my rescuer. And we talked for like a few months, and then he gets into a violent situation, and he ended up unaliving someone. And so in my little 15-year-old head, he's gone forever, right? And the next thing I know, period don't come on, not feeling well, take a pregnancy test, and I'm pregnant. That would have been fine, right? Until you find out it is twins. So when I spent my whole 15 pretty much pregnant. I had the twins. My birthday's in June. I turned 16. I had the twins in July. By August, I was in a mental hospital. I'm sorry, not August. January, I was in a mental hospital. I felt like I broke. I remember sitting on the bed looking at these babies and could not understand how they belong to me. Couldn't understand how I now don't have a daddy. Now I have two babies. I don't know nothing about having babies. It's my little sisters, my mom. I felt like I couldn't connect to nothing. And I just remember being like angry and acting out sexually really badly. And it kept feeling like an outer body thing, and I couldn't control it. Like, I remember one time where my mom had her brother and her aunt, my great aunt, like try to come and talk to me. And all I remember is going in the kitchen and grabbing my father's chef knives, because before he was a computer programmer, he was a master chef. And grabbing those knives and just throwing them at my great aunt. Didn't speak to me for many years, and I felt like she never forgot. My uncle forgave me. My uncle forgave me because he kind of like understood a little bit, but I spent from the age 16, the last time I was in a mental hospital, I was 35. Being diagnosed with bipolar disorder, it puts, first of all, what makes it real hard being diagnosed with bipolar disorder is that people treat you like you asked for it. Either they treat you like you asked to have bipolar, or they treat you as if it doesn't matter, like it's not even a factor. I had a cousin say to me once, "Why do you tell people that?" And I told her, I said, because I want people to know, because this is what it looks like, what bipolar disorder looks like. And it would be fine if it was just bipolar disorder, but then they diagnosed me with borderline personality disorder, which that makes sense. I'm a Gemini. I think all Geminis got borderline personality disorder. But I also was diagnosed with PTSD and manic depression. And the medication, people ask me, like, I make it very clear, I would never take a psych med. There are people that it works for and it helps them and regulate. For me, every side effect I was affected with, like, it went from 3 medications to 5 medications to 8 medications, and all from my brain. I only smoke 1 Dutch. I ain't got to up the dosages. My opinion, that I'm just saying. But the truth of the matter is, the medicine, it wasn't even just about the side effects. I didn't feel like me. I didn't feel like myself. My oldest daughter, one time, we was moving into the house my mom lives at now, and a mirror broke. A mirror had broke on the floor, and I picked the pieces up, and I had put it on the bottom bunk bed. At the time, I was on Seroquel. And if anybody know nothing about Seroquel is like a triple dosage of a fucking Xanax, okay? And they gave me, I was on 500 milligrams of Seroquel that I was supposed to be taking 3 times a day, okay? Now, at the time, I was having a lot of manic episodes, and so my mom was like being on top of me taking my meds. She made me take my Seroquel, so I forget all about the fact that I just picked up this mirror and set it on the bed, and it's supposed to be like getting the bag and getting it in the trash. Like, I was just trying to get it off the floor, and somehow or another I end up dozing off because it will put you to sleep. And if you like fight through the sleep, then you're kind of like just like high, like you're just, you feel what I'm saying, like. And it never was like, I never liked Xannies at all. I don't like that feeling like I'm in a make believe world or some shit, like. And my daughter gets into the bed and slices her knee to the bone, down to the bone. She had to been either 6 or 7 years old. Sliced it to the bone. My daughter trying to wake me up. I see the blood. I remember seeing the blood, and I remember looking at it going, "Oh, wow." And I couldn't coordinate. Like, if my mother wasn't there, if I wasn't living with my mom, long story short, my daughter would have been gone. Okay? She'd have bled out. Things like that, it's like, it sticks to me. You know what I mean? I ain't never gonna be that high off weed. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Just ever. Like, ever. Like, I've never been so high from smoking weed that if my daughter sliced her knee open, I would have been like, "Oh, shit, let's go." You feel what I'm saying? Immediately, be out of here. Like, I'm not sitting there pondering what just happened for the next 5 to 10 minutes. Like, my mom, like, threw water on me, and still, like, I'm, like, living with disorders taught me to see the world on a different perspective, because people don't respect it. They don't respect your trauma. They don't respect your mental health. Like, you kind of gotta like walk around with like, this is what it is. This is how I end up being on Social Security at 26, because maintaining a job never worked for me. Even in waitressing, like, another thing I liked about waitressing is that it was so flexible, to where if my bipolar triggered that I couldn't come in, I didn't lose my job. I didn't lose my job. Like, or I worked for male exotic dancers for a long period of time. So it kind of fed a demon in me that, took me many years to work through and work out and understand, and learn who the value of me is. That's why I tell people all the time, psychotherapy changed my entire existence of life. When once psychotherapy was introduced to me, it completely reprogrammed my mind. It reprogrammed how I looked at my disorder. And so now if I feel like I'm going through manic or mania, I'll sit here and record a video, or I'll clean up, or I'll do whatever I didn't have the energy or the capacity to do. And then by the time I finish, the mania start coming down, I'm too busy being proud of what I did so that I don't have the space to find depression in it. And DBT taught me that. It taught me how to breathe exercise. And this was like before I even incorporated meditation into my life as being a part of my life. It started by learning grounding exercises from DBT. It started with doing, like with my PTSD, to like bring me back to the present, because certain things would trigger me and I am no longer here. You know what I mean? And so to start like teaching me, techniques of recognizing that I'm not in danger at the moment, at this present moment. It's a past memory. It's not a current situation. And it helped me learn how to get out of my own way, to see the greatness in me and not allow my disorder to define me. And that's how I end up looking at as me being bipolar was a gift from God. I don't know if I was able to find a deeper part of me without it, and how to be able to live this life, live this world with a stigma from another person's point of view. You feel what I'm saying? And so I hope that, this video helps people get a better or a deeper understanding what it is to live with having mental health disorders, like, you know what I mean, on you. But I choose to look at it as a gift instead of a curse, because it allows me to see the world from the inside out, and also from the outside in. And I love it. um, yeah, so if this video, helped you have a better understanding, please hit that like button. Um, if you are watching this video to the end and you are not currently a butterfly, then what are you doing? We want you a part of the butterfly squad. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when I upload another video, of course. And listen, I'm going to say it in every single video, that nothing in life is happening to you, but everything, and I do mean everything in life, is happening for you, and is happening for your greatness. All right, my butterflies, squad up.